show.
No. On the book of face.
Book of face.
Yeah, I know where to go.
Woo.
There's a man over there into the music scene, showing lots of love for the community with great advice. I know who I should go see.
Who that?
All around down the radio show.
Oh my. Hi Glenn. Fast Lane Productions. Hello. Kareem in the house. Hi Karis.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm hanging in here. I'm here. What day is it? Oh my God. It's Hot Topic Tuesday, as my old friend Captain Neil would say. Tuesday. Welcome to the program, everybody. How you doing? We had a great weekend of music here in the tri-state. You were in town for a little bit, and then you jetted off again.
Yeah, but this is for business.
Well, I'm okay with that, but you know,
Business.
Your trip looked beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Mine was fun for 4 days. It was all right.
Good.
And then you're in this beautiful plush suite in Vegas.
It's like this epic level of tackiness that I'm all for. Is
it really
absolutely
tacky?
Fabulous.
Hello, Josh Morgan. Hollywood is in the house. How you doing? Hollywood, again, thank you for everything you did for CFG and the family this past week. And you were there.
Oh, yeah.
You were their man all the time down there, getting them where they needed to be. So thank you for
awesome.
that. Wasn't it great that they got to do that? I mean, that's just so cool.
2 shitters is right. That was my favorite part.
2 of them?
There's 2 shitters in the suite.
Are they full?
Not of my shit. I'm full of shit.
Shitter's full. Okay.
Shit.
Yeah. Marianne's in the house. And Daniel Bryan. Hi, Daniel. Heather Mattingly, who got to swim with the manatees. I'm jealous. Let's see what else. Roger's here. Funny business. Monkey business. Yes. And Eddie from the Standard Country Time Band joining the party. How are you? So, Karis, you've been having some travel time, and we're going to try to squeeze this show in today. I will throw my little disclaimer out there before I do the real disclaimer. If I freeze up, they just marked our whole neighborhood here to re-stretch new fiber cable, because ours is failing. That's why yesterday at the end of the show, we were having such a great time. I got booted. So if I get booted today, Karis will continue on. It should stay rolling. So if it doesn't, then we're sorry, but that's the way it works. So, Karis, what's new? Anything? You got anything to share?
We had a really big week last week at the bar, and we have a big week this week, so it's all kind of exciting. I like it.
I was very sad I didn't make Under the Sun again, but it looked like that was one of the biggest crowds I've ever seen in your place.
It was definitely, I'm pretty sure, other than St. Patty's Day, it was like, for a normal night, was a record night.
Wow.
Stressful as shit, but really good.
How about that? Hi, Lee Dixon. Hi, Skip from Liars for Hire.
Lee's band, Denim Deluxe, is debuting at the Bell and the Bear this Friday.
Yeah, and I hear it's some girl, her birthday. What's her name? 7?
I think she plays in the band.
Is she? She's pretty, yeah. I hear. Yeah.
She's interesting. I think she's 21.
Is she just now? Just turned 21? I love it. Rick says Under the Sun was crazy. Thanks, Rick. Lee, it's great to have you with us, man.
Hi, Erica.
Oh, the lovely Erica. I love her.
I miss Erica.
I love Erica. She's awesome. And Ed Sawicki, he says he'll be there shooting Denim Deluxe. Thank you. Good job, Ed. I hope you're feeling better, Ed. He had a little buggy bug over the weekend.
Yeah.
So hopefully he's doing better.
Hi, Jamie.
Hey, who's on here? Jamie?
Jamie Minute.
Oh, I don't see that comment. So, hi, Jamie, if you're out there. That's interesting. I don't see her comment.
Just scroll.
I've scrolled.
Go back up. Scroll back.
Way up. Way up.
Well, she was.
Way up.
Not way up.
No,
She's
I
right
don't see
before
her.
Myron Molesky. Hi, Myron.
I don't see her. Interesting. Oh well. So Jamie's here. That's good. Let's get rolling. Ceris, I did talk to you. I messaged you the other night. I do want to mention again, yesterday we talked a lot at length about it, but I got to give props to our friend Jim Cuesta for his unbelievable show over the weekend.
I have my phone and Messenger has been blowing up about how incredible that show. I mean, I said to you, I had no doubt, because that is 100% Jim's
Well,
wheelhouse. I mean, and I heard it was probably one of the best shows that people have seen. And it was great. I'm so bummed I missed it, but I'm going to go to the next one.
Production was good. Yeah, you'll have to. It was fun. So shout out to Jim and company, Adam Wheeler.
The whole crew.
What a voice. What a voice. It was incredibly, it's spot on Phil Collins. I mean, you close your eyes, you think Phil was up there. It was great.
That's good. So, I saw videos, which was awesome. Yeah, Kareem, vote for the Bell and the Bear. Thank you for the Best of City Beat, and the Faded Cow's in there as well for 3 categories.
You glitched. It sounded like you were DJing. You said cow.
Oh, the Faded Cow is
Faded Cow
for 3 things as well: Best Chicken Sandwich, Best Burger, and Best Food Truck. And
I've had them all. They're all good.
They're all good. And then the Bell and the Bear's up for like 17 things.
Is it still nominated for Best Hookup Bar?
That's not even in that one.
Oh, that's a different one? Okay.
That's different. That's just a pleasant surprise for everybody.
Isn't that great? It is. No, but yeah, you're very deserving and all that. We did mention it last Thursday when I was up there introducing Adele and company about voting and getting their phones out and voting. So guys, vote. Give Ceris the love she deserves for all the love she gives us back in that beautiful venue called the Bell and the Bear. And we'd love to have you vote for them. And let's make them number 1 on all of it. Chris Thompson in the house. How are you? Oh, Kara's here. Hi, Kara. And Tessa. Tessa in the house. Good to have you. Hey, our topic today is interesting. We've touched on it a little bit, I think, in the past, but we're going to kind of devote a half hour or so to it here. Let's chat about cover bands. Should they stick with one genre or should they be multi-genre when they get up and play and make their set lists? It's kind of a split on the internet. If you go look it up on the internet, there's a lot of people that say stay in your wheelhouse, do rock if you're doing rock or whatever. But then there's a lot of people out there that seem to be into shaking it up a little bit. And, you know, I saw where one band played Sugar Sugar by the Archies from back in the 60s and mashed it into Metallica's Enter Sandman, and they said it was fantastic. So, you know, you can do a lot of things. And what do you think, Ceris? You think, what do you think about it?
And again, this isn't like my opinion. This isn't for everybody, but you know, I've touched on this many times that sometimes people go out of their wheelhouse and it just doesn't work, and it can actually be kind of detrimental, especially if there's like videos being recorded and stuff like that. So I think the reason why certain vocalists tend to go for a certain genre is because it's in their wheelhouse, because they know they can do it really, really well. I'm not saying you can't venture off, but you got to be careful, because, you know, I've just heard too many times some people who sing a little harder rock try to sing something slow and melodic or whatever, and it's just horrifying.
Horrifying. It's a good term for it, and it is. I do want to say though, I think if you're basically a rock oriented band, or let's just say you're a country oriented band, and you want to throw some different songs in there, it never bothers me. Dave Worthington said it best: just do it well.
Just do it well.
Don't pick the cliche same songs that every band's doing though. I mean, you know, it's like, I hate to bring up Wagon Wheel and, you know, that kind of thing, but or Tennessee Whiskey, and those they get overplayed, and then people are like, oh, you know, even though you may do it really well, it's just something. Try to pick something that's going to appeal to the crowd, and you know, you can be all over the place. I mean, you can go from "Blame It on the Rain" by Milli Vanilli if you want to, hitting something really heavy. I mean, people, if they like you, they like you. And if you're good at music, they're going to like you, I think. That's my opinion.
I'm a little different. Like I'm in more of the belief, and Kareem kind of hit on that. It's not a crime to go outside your real house as long as you can make it work. So it's, to me, more important that you pick a song that you can make work, whether opposed to, if you can make Wheelhouse work really, really well, I'd rather you sing that than sing something that you cannot make work.
Okay.
I'd rather hear I'd rather hear people complain, oh, Wheelhouse, all right, well, whatever, at least it sounds okay, opposed to, well, I'm getting up because that sounds awful.
And Ed, I agree with you 100% that, I think if you've got a shtick, or your band has a brand that is, let's say you're a rock band, stick with the rock at least 80% of the night. You can change songs up, and you can do a rocky edge. I mean, my friends from Truck, they're a bluegrassy country band, and they play Crazy for You by Madonna in a bluegrass format. People love it. They go crazy over it, and it's hilarious. I mean, it is. And they make it their own. And I think that's part of it too, It
is, but that's also still in their genre, though. They just they made that song their own, which is completely different in my opinion. And it has a special talent.
Oh, absolutely. Let's see what Bob Klein has to say here. He says there's those that can do it and those that shouldn't. Be smart about it. And mostly stay in their lane.
My bad. Thanks.
Yeah, wagon wheel wheelhouse. It's okay. You can call it what you want, because you're hosting. And Brian Schwab, band staying in their wheel. Oh, Marianne's giving him the topic. He must have asked for the topic. I missed that. And I think, thank you, Gary, for the Freebird comment. But do you really believe, Ceris, that would you like to go see a band that, and I've noticed of late, bands are really starting to change it up. Do you want to go see a band that's just in that, same genre? I like that. I like a band that if I know what I'm going to get, I want to go to a rock show, I'm going to get a rock night. But I don't get upset if they throw a few songs in. I get upset if they 50-50 it and I expected it to be a rock night. Then that.
Oh, I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. If I'm going to see, if I'm going to see a rock band, I want to see a rock band.
Absolutely. And it's a touchy subject because everybody wants new material and everybody wants to learn new material. And I mean, I was talking to the folks from DV8 the other night at Jim's thing, and they were telling me they've on their break, they learned like 35 new songs to add to their book of songs that they do. And I didn't get into too deep about what they were doing, but that's a band that's very popular. And when they play, you pretty much know what you're going to get. I mean, you're going to get some old school rock, you get some newer rock, you everywhere from the 70s, 80s, 90s stuff. And then beyond, sometimes some of the newer things they're throwing in there are really good. And I know what I'm going to get, but the buzz on the internet, and the reason we got this even question sent into the show, was that there's a lot of buzz out there about bands selling out, and they're a rock band, but now it goes back to the old days of, if you were in Motown and you played Motown and you crossed over into pop music, you're a sellout, and those kind of things.
Bands in Cincinnati are a sellout.
What's that? I didn't hear you.
Are we talking about the cover bands in Cincinnati are a sellout?
There are people saying that bands are selling out to the popularity of certain genres of music that they didn't used to play, that they played. Let's say they were a heavy rock band and now they've gone a more poppy thing, and people don't like that. You know what I mean? It's like the Taylor Swift syndrome. So she started out country and then she went pop, and she did very well with that. But some people don't like that crossover stuff. And you can hear it in the country world. I mean, when you go to, I call it tractor rap. I mean, they've turned country music into a whole variety of things now and genres that are mixed.
There's a band that it's one of my favorite bands in the city that was kind of a harder rock. They went a little softer and they just didn't do quite as well. And then they went back to playing hard and everybody just went crazy. And I think, to me, that was a really perfect example of, if you do something right, and if it's not broke, just don't don't fuck with it. Don't mess with it. It's working.
And don't you think if you go see a band, from the name of the band pretty much, let's say Catalina Wine Mixer is a great example. Big popular band playing yacht rock. You know what you're going to get.
Them.
You say what?
I've never heard them.
Yeah, they're excellent. I mean, they're it's Sean McGarry and some of those folks that have been playing in Cincinnati for years, and they're an excellent band. But you know what you're going to get when you go see that show. If I go see the Kevin McCoy band, I know I'm going to get country, or you pretty much know by the name of the band, but they do cross over occasionally and play some other things, which I think is appealing to the crowd if you don't overdo it.
I agree. And some of the reasons why I don't go see certain bands is because I don't like that genre. So at least I know, I think it's important for people to know what genre they are and not crossover, because people are going to see them because they love that genre, or they're not going to see them because they don't. You're damned if you do. But at the same time, it's always nice. Kevin McCoy, to me, he is country, but he's rocking. In my opinion, Kevin McCoy can do rock and country, and it's still all in his genre. I'm a big fan of what he does on stage.
I'm a big fan of the way he plays to his audience and interacts with the audience as well.
I am a big fan of that.
And you're gonna have another band this weekend who plays country music, and they play quite a bit of country, and that's Denim Deluxe. But I guarantee you, their ability to connect with their audience is fantastic as well. And Lee Dixon's one of the best front guys for that you'll ever meet. I mean, he's got it going on with that aspect.
Listen,
so
Lee knows that I'm not the biggest fan of country. Okay, yeah. I'm a big fan of Lee and his bandmate, the lady Seven West, and his other. But I'm not the biggest fan of country. But if you can do it right, and by that I mean I make it a rocking good time. I'm okay with that. I'm going to probably really, really like it.
Well, I was out not too long ago listening to a band and a cover band that will not be named, but in their set list, in the same set, they played I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor, and they played a Tool song, and the crowd loved them. I mean, the crowd did. They loved this band. But I thought, how do you put Gloria Gaynor in the same set list as Tool? But they made it work. So, I think it all depends on the talent.
Make it work.
Yeah, I think it depends on the talent, don't you?
Well, I think you kind of just hit it. The more talented you are, the more abilities and room you have, to more wiggle room.
Well, and your house band on Thursday is a great example. They have to be ready on the fly to play some really crazy tunes, and they hit the ground running. They're pros. I mean, they do. They can play these songs, and I crack up every time they look at each other like, "You ever played this before?" No, well, let's try it, and they blow it away. I mean, they're fantastic with it. But it's just an example of professional musicians, and I think Kareem was saying that earlier. Stay, if you can pull it off, do it, but stay in your lane a little bit. Don't venture in places you haven't gone before to try to see if you can play that song.
Correct.
And there's some more from Kareem. Let's see what he's got to say.
Kareem's a smart one. Yeah,
he says his voice can only fit certain songs. Yeah. I mean, if Kareem sits down on the stage and plays Hootie, he's doing all right. I mean, I hear him. He does great. But he knows his wheelhouse, as he says. And he says it falls under the acoustic umbrella. And he knows that's what he is. And he doesn't try to go heavy rocker on the stage or any of that stuff. Hello, Ron Barnett. Thank you for being here. And
hi,
who else?
Mary.
Carol is here. Hi, Michelle. Thanks for being here. Mary's in the house. And we got all kinds of people out there. Skip's got something to say because their band plays a wide variety of music. Liars for Hire do. And he said it also depends on the venue. Yeah, and you're exactly right, Skip. You got to play to the room. If you're playing the VFW and the crowd is in their 60s and 70s, you're gonna tweak your set list to fit those guys.
Thank you, Mary. Chris Thompson. That's what I'm saying. You made it make sense.
What do you say? Tend to play a wide range of material.
So we try to keep it within the vocal range of our singer. That's what that's what it is. Be smart. There's a time and a place to try new things. I understand that. But you got to know your own ability, and you have got to know, what do I always say? I can't even remember what I always say. You have to, like, self-awareness. Come on. I don't know. There's been a lack of that lately, like all across the board, just in general.
Thank you for that comment, Chris. And
Yeah,
Chris
great
is my
comment, Chris. Great comment.
Chris not only has a great lead singer in his band, but he also sings a song from Prince. We'll call it Kitty Control today to keep us from getting kicked off the internet. But Chris sings that and does well with that. And we always laugh about that song. Diana, thank you for being here. Late as usual, Joe Coles.
There's a couple of Tool. Well, it doesn't clear my dance floor when somebody plays Tool. Well, if they do it correctly, it will bring out the beast in everybody.
Yeah, it again, it depends on the band.
Yeah,
we could beat that dead horse all day, but it's all in the talent, and it's all in how much you can try to pull off. You take Kevin Cooper and the Hanky Panks, and they'll do or Eyes Up Here, either one of those bands he's in. They'll do requests, and they have people fill out sheets, and they get the sheets up there, and they play on the fly. It's great, but not all bands can do that. You know, not all bands should try to pull something like that off. And what's Dave saying here? Just be good at it. Yes.
Well,
what do you see?
There you go. Just be good at it. You're right. You nailed it.
Johnny wants to know how Vegas is treating you, my dear.
Well, you know what? I haven't been able to do much. It's been a lot of work. We're out here because we're at the SHOT Show, because that's what my husband does. He's a tier 1 combat instructor, so we're here for work and stuff.
Yes, Gary, I saw your comment. That Arena Rock Show is an example, though, of a tribute band, and nothing. I mean, that's completely different. That's a whole different world.
They're literally there to put on that exact show.
That's a tribute to 70s and 80s rock and roll. That's what it is. You know, that's what you're going to get when you go see them, and it is fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's great. Right,
common sense. Yep.
What's Denny got to say here? We can look up over Denny's. There we go. He said, played a Green Day song at a very country bar, but got a compliment. He says, even your Green Day sounds pretty country. There you go. And again, that's good. It's great. If you can twist it and turn it into yours, I think it's even better when you do that and make it your own a little bit.
Well, then, Chad, that means that you've got a great vocal range. I think that's great. Like I said, I don't think there's anything wrong with throwing in. I think it makes it even more interesting when you throw in all different things. You just got to be good at it.
Chad Applegate's great. I mean, I love him. He does a great job. And
yeah, I don't know. My point is, sometimes a lot of people, and I'm not saying this about Chad by any means, so don't take this. A lot of people say the words, it works for us, because they just do it. They're not taking feedback. You know what I mean? Like, they're just, sometimes it's important to ask.
And Bill, that's a great example. Our friends from CFG and the Family, I've heard that too, where they're doing Allman Brothers and Commodores in one set and then a Black Sabbath tune. They make it work because it's their own. You get the CFG thing. What's Heather saying?
She's saying that, I mean, it should be on the singer. And if the singer's not comfortable doing it, then they shouldn't do it, because everybody's going to be staring at the singer unless somebody else in the band's just really completely.
Hi, Ray.
Off.
Chris Reese in the house. Good hanging with you the other night, Chris. Says we all like the multi-genre approach. Yeah, I think most people agree. It's fine to slide that in.
To a degree.
Yeah.
You know?
But funk, soul, and rock and roll, I mean, that's that band's motto, and that's what you get. I mean, you do. You get a little bit of funk, you get a little bit of soul, and you get some rock and roll thrown in, and it works. No, it does. It does. By the way, Chris says sup. Sup,
Chris.
Let me see what Steve Krakens has to say here. Oh, the decoding the topic, Steve, it is, should cover bands be one genre or should they be multi-genre? And how much of that should they be if they do that? That's kind of what we're talking about here. That's where it's gone. That's where it's steered. And
Marianne just nailed it.
Joe Cole's talking about never replicate 100% of record. No, neither can the artist doing tours most of the time. I mean, that's a perfect example. The studio can do wonderful things, but yeah, it's always best to make it your song and add your flair to it. Just don't overdo it. I mean, don't you know, and no offense to Whitney Houston, but don't Whitney Houstonize a rock and roll song with all this Christina Aguilera at the end and all that. Leave that be.
Some people think they're powerhouse singers and they're really just screaming.
Screamers.
And I'm not even talking about a scream band. I'm just like, it's like, calm the fuck down. If you can't get that note, there's a reason. But yeah, Marianne, look at your dance floor.
Marianne's got it because she knows. I mean, she's she's one. She's a great judge too. I mean, I see her. She's out there partying and dancing and doing her thing. And if somebody plays a flat song, she's looking around the room like, boy, they just killed the mood here. You can tell. And it happens. And bands got to be careful of that. If you got the crowd going to a fever pitch on that dance floor, keep it happening. Change your set list on the fly if you have to, you know, but do it. And here's Ronnie Young from Mad Hatter in the house. Says how he tried to pick tunes.
I agree, Ronnie. If you can't sing it, you really shouldn't do it.
Let me tell you something about Ronnie Young though. I could go to a bag and pull out a song and Ronnie Young could sing it. He could sing anything, but yes.
Not everybody is Ronnie Young, and that is what I'm trying to get at. Like,
are you trying to argue with me?
There is a lack of self-awareness.
Yes, there is. People don't know when a song is not good for them. A lot of times we see that a lot. And even some of the better bands we've seen that happen with. And it surprises me that they would even attempt it. But yes. Thank you, Chad. Yeah, you know, and if you're in a room, let's say you're playing a room and it's slow. Okay, it's one of these Wednesday nights and, you know, pretty good crowd for a Wednesday type thing, but it's slow. And people are saying, will you play this? There's nothing wrong with trying something for the audience. If there's 8, 10, 12 people in a bar and everybody's sitting there just cutting up and having fun and they say, hey, can you play this song? There's nothing wrong with that. If it appeals to those 2 people sitting in the audience, it was their song or whatever, what the hell, you know? But when you've got a room full of 500 people, it's a whole different world, I think, don't you? I mean, it can make or break the bar if you don't play the right music.
Well, and that's you know, when I started the jam session, it wasn't used to be it really wasn't at all used to be like a trial type thing for bands by any means, but it has slowly almost become that because I've noticed that people are not paying attention to what's happening on the dance floor and in the audience. Like, they just don't care if they like it or not. And if you're not caring what the audience is enjoying or wanting, then I'm not going to pay you. You know what I mean? Like, and that's kind of like what it's about. You've got to, I think I just lost track of what I was saying, but
it's the Vegas air.
Huh?
It's the Vegas air.
You got to care what the audience wants, because whether you like it or not, you are getting paid to entertain a crowd. And that's what you need to do, and you need to do it well.
You know, if we had $1 for every time we've said you're getting paid to entertain a crowd on this show, we'd have studios there in that hotel in Vegas right now. I mean, we've said that so many times. And and what is it? Ronnie Young speaks the truth. Thank you. Chris Reese says they play different genres, try to recognize and take feedback. Yeah. And a good band is going to tweak their set list on a weekly basis. If you played something and it fell flat, it may not fall flat in the next bar, but if you play it 2 or 3 times out and you see it's just not a crowd pleaser, you better pull that song. I mean, find something to fit in that slot that's better than what you're doing, because downtime is no money time in the business, and the money the bar makes is what pays you. So I'm just saying that out loud, but it's the truth. What else we got? Anybody out there have an opinion on this? I'd love to hear from you. Steve Hook, how are you? Thanks for being here. I'm out of comments here. I'm at the bottom. I'm not usually that caught up. Jim McCarthy says hi. Are you finding a home for this dog yet?
I'm trying, guys. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I need to just take care of this.
We know your love and passion for that, and you go right ahead, because that is very important. There's an emergency with a pup right now, and Ceris is doing her best to get this dog rescued and saved. Yes, Ronnie says they played songs that we thought would work, and 3 shows later it's gone. Yeah, it happens. And you guys, you know, had a specific set list that I never really saw the same set twice when I came out to see you. You guys shook it up enough that you had enough songs to do that. And I think that's where this comes into play too, that some bands don't have enough material and they need to add more. I mean, when a band like DV8 is adding 30 to 35 new songs, they see that is a need, and you don't want to get stale playing the same songs over and over and over again. And, and that's one of the class bands in Cincinnati. That's the ones everybody else is striving to be. And I think that's a pretty good that they would take the time in their downtime to do all that. Hi, Travis. Thanks for being here. Yeah, there's a ton of music other than that song. Just dump it. If it doesn't work, dump it. And that's good. And thank you, Marianne. Yeah, you don't want to play boring songs.
I won't book them. Yep. I won't book them.
And Mary wants to know if that's the Blue Healer, Ceris.
It's not the Blue Healer. It's the one that's chained up in the Amish barn, and they've banded his testicles together. So we need to find a foster for this dog so Adopt-A-Pit can pull him. Otherwise, he's got to stay there. Everything's paid for. I'm sorry that I'm doing this, guys, but everything's paid for. We just need a safe place for him to go. Temporary.
You don't need to apologize for that. You know that. We love what you do with the animals and what you do with the dogs, and you're a good soul with that. You're in Las Vegas right now where you could just be ignoring this, and you're not. So,
it's breaking because I'm not there.
Yeah. Eric says, we've had songs that we thought would kill it, but didn't. Off the list they go. Good. I'm glad to hear people say that, because you put a lot of time into learning a song. I mean, a band does. They put a lot of time into learning it and timing it and doing all the stuff. And sometimes it's frustrating when it doesn't work. And I think but that's honorable to say, hey, we pull it, because if it doesn't work for the crowd, then it's not what we need to be doing. And yeah.
That is a very underrated. Gary, you made a good point here. That's very underrated. I think it's important to come back in the second set with a banger. I also think the first set should be a banger, but it should come back straight off the bat with a banger to get those people up and ready to go. Because sometimes they are brought down so much with that break that they need a reason to get up ASAP, or they're just going to get out. If you don't get them up, they're going to get out.
Come out of the gate like it's a horse race, man. Come out of the gate strong. And we've talked about it. I hate that term. You talked about the first set. Wait till you hear the second set, the band says, because we know this one sucks. So wait till you hear the second set.
Basically what you're saying.
Yes.
Like, that's basically what you're saying. Stick around for the second or third set, because that's when it gets good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me pay you just for the second and third set. I mean, come on, guys.
I know. Where does that come from? It's crazy. Joe Cole's in the house. Thank you, Joe, for that comment. Holy crap, Doug Staub. He is he's gonna put one that's gonna cover the whole screen.
Did you text me recently and I completely ignored you? Was that you?
So thank you, Joe, for that. Don't take your metal band to the wine bar. Amen. I agree. And right now it seems like, well, I mentioned it on the show Monday, I guess it was yesterday, that it just seems like there's so many bands that used to play 4 and 5 nights a week and they're only playing 1 or 2. Is that because the outdoor venues are down? I don't know, but it's funny to see all the people getting put in places, and I'm saying, how in the hell is that going to work in that venue? And a 5-piece band with a double kick drum kit and everything else in a venue that only holds 60 people. And it's like, wow, where is that coming from? And who wants to hear songs from the same band every time they're playing? And I go to bands sometimes, Mary, that I see and I could tell you what the next song is on their set list. It's so predictable. And, certain songs segue into other songs, but it's bad. Let me see what Doug had. Oh, there we go. Doug has covered me up. And you says, yeah. Sing-alongs are great. I agree. An occasional slow one if appropriate. Yeah. And they stay in the cassette area. So yeah, you've got a wheelhouse. You've got something that people know when they come to see you. And it's like when you go to see the Whammies, you're going to see 80s music. it's just the way it works. And everybody knows that branding there. And your branding is great with Cassette Junkies. I think it's wonderful.
That is a problem, Travis. That is a problem. And
I'm getting there.
And I think that's, your people and your friends that are being really nice because they love you. But I think that's detrimental, in my opinion. If a friend asks me, how did I sound? I'm going to be honest. Did you freeze? Did I freeze? Did somebody freeze? I think somebody froze. Is everybody frozen? Can you all hear me? I know Scott's frozen. Unless on my end, Scott's frozen. Honesty is the best policy. Okay, so you can all hear me. So this is a really perfect opportunity for me to say things about Scott, since he's not going to know what's going on, guys. So we can just like let loose. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Hi, guys. Yeah, I think honesty is the best policy in person. Oh, shit.
I'm back.
This one, it was getting good.
Well, here.
I got nothing bad to say. Nobody wants to look at me. Let's go. Get off me. Get me off of there.
You ain't right, girl. All right. We're back. Yes, we're back. And we're not here for much longer, but we've beat this horse to death today, unfortunately. But everybody could hear you, and it's just me, because that's my neighborhood. Spectrum, folks. Can I give a commercial for Spectrum? For the last 3.5 weeks, I've been dealing with Spectrum, and I had to get to a senior vice president in order to get this stuff fixed. It was ridiculous.
Spectrum fucking sucks.
Thank you. They do, and I'm about to make the move, but I need internet. I do.
I made the
internet,
move, and while I had already booked the other people to come, Alta Fiber. They spent like an hour and a half trying to convince me, and I try to be as polite as possible. And I said, "Listen to me right now. I lost my mother shit on them." I said, "You cancel my fucking account now. I'm fucking done." I hate it. Ugh.
Yeah, they're a joy to work with. Trust me. And if I had one more, tell me, your service will be repaired in 48 hours. No. Fix it. What's Steve saying? Goodness. This guy's writing books today.
Well, Steve, I think that's a really, that's great. But I think that most of the people that play at my bar are playing to make money. And of course, it would be great if you could just go out and play whatever you want because you're doing it for the love of music. And then maybe that means you go and you play for free because you're not caring what anybody else thinks, right? But if you want to get, if we're talking business wise, you have to care what other people, if they're going to like your music or not, like the music you're singing.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Bill. I would get the Verizon 5G box for 35 months. I've got this little Verizon hockey puck I use when I do remotes, and it works really well. But my problem in my house is I don't have good Verizon coverage either. So if you call me sometimes and I don't answer, it's because I have to go outside and answer the phone. I ain't doing it. So there. How's that? What'd Ray say?
Well, Joe called, makes it that. Here's the better question. Do you think that they even notice that they're one of those bands that plays songs that doesn't work? That's what I'm getting at. This lack of self-awareness. They don't even care.
It's like they're standing on stage and there's no one out there.
Yeah, I don't think they care what other people like. They're going to play it anyways, which is great, but except for if you're trying to get paid for it.
Wow. Interesting. Let's see. We're about to wind down here, but Steve said that's why.
Absolutely, Steve, and that's absolutely 100%. I wish that every musician that plays on my stage played exactly what they loved and wanted to play every single time. And I wish that it worked, and I wish I could pay them to do that. 100%. It's just, unfortunately, not quite like that everywhere.
Thank you, Ronnie Young. Those bands won't be around very long. You're right.
This is true. They won't be around very long.
They play in a
I like
bubble.
this Ronnie Young guy.
Oh, you should hear him sing. You'd like him even more.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played with Steve and Mad Hatter for years
know.
and years. Yeah,
and I've never actually got a chance to hear them.
They were wonderful. One of my favorite bands in the whole Dayton market. Absolutely. But let me say this, Ceris. We've beat this up, but I guess it's kind of sums up, at least in my mind, you do you, but you make sure it works for the place you're in. I mean, if you want to add some songs from a different genre, add them if they work. I mean, if it's going to keep the crowd happy and excited, do it. But I mean, is that where you're coming from on this? What? I think you're frozen.
Am I frozen? I can see me, but maybe you seem frozen to me.
You sound like auto-tune now. I have lost Ceris. The Wi-Fi is going down. Now we're all going down. We're going to have to go. Let's just say goodbye to everybody, Ceris.
Goodbye, everybody. Can you hear me?
Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching today. We're out.
Again. I wasn't frozen. You were frozen.
See ya. Bye. Bye. We'll see you tomorrow. Hey, Wednesday with the band tomorrow, guys. Noon and 5 o'clock, both, hopefully.
He's frozen again. Hey, guys, it's me, Ceris. Let's talk about Scott again. Is it good? Did he? I don't know if anybody can hear. Wait, for shedding light on these idiot. Oh, poppy mills are the worst. Fucking worst. So what do you guys think of Scott's shirt? Hi, Michelle Taft. I love you, Michelle. What'd you think? Do you guys love Scott? I love Scott. Oh, okay, he's gone. Dish the dirt, Ceris. I have so much dirt about Scott. I really don't. I don't have any dirt. I feel like this is going to get really awkward because we're just going to sit here and stare at me while I speak to you because Scott's in control of all this. So, what do you guys want to talk about? Oh, Scott. It was Scott. I'm still on air. Scott's saying good show, except I think I'm still on air. Okay, I'm going. I got to go to the SHOT Show. Bye.